Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything.
Entertainment.
Everything. Entertainment. Everything. Entertainment. What? I don't even know where that came from.
I don't know.
I'm just feeling it today.
When you listen to music before,
yes, we were listening to music before we got started. So yeah,
in the groove.
We were in the zone.
You know what I'm saying?
So yes, sis. So you are going first this week.
Yes.
So what do you have?
Oh my God, I have so many amazing things to
my goodness.
choose from. I'm going to start off with this movie that I went to go see tonight. Exclusive. Went to go see Woman King. Awesome movie. Great production.
The incomparable
Viola Davis, yeah. They always say incomparable about everybody. Everybody's an incomparable. I don't know. I feel like Jennifer Lewis said incomparable like 40 times in her book when she was talking about people.
Because she thinks she's incomparable.
No, she's talking about other people.
Oh, about other people?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, most people think she is too.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So who it was starring was Viola Davis, Thuso, I might be messing up these names really bad, but Thuso Mbeda and Lashana Lynch, Sheila Atim, and John Boyega.
Okay.
These are the main cast members.
They
did an amazing job. Seeing some of the stuff, what they were talking about of them just setting up to do this movie and how much training they had to go through. Like, they really had to learn these moves.
Right. What is the premise of the movie? Because I saw the trailer myself, but I don't know if I fully understood what are they fighting for? What is it about?
Let me get into that. Okay. So in 1823 is when this movie is supposed to be taking place.
Okay.
Now remember, this is based on a true story.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
But what they did was they put some fictional stuff in there. You know, because you got to make the movie have this whole plot and everything. So it's the Agoji tribe. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, the Agoji warriors, which they were the warriors of the Dahomey kingdom. Now the leader is played by Viola Davis, and in the movie her name is Nanesca. And she's like the leader taking these women, and they're fighting every tribe that is going around and selling their own people to the Europeans. So this is when slavery was happening big time. Yes. So because this is based on a true story, a little bit of history that you want to know, that the Agoji tribe, the Agoji warriors were actually 6,000 women strong.
Wow.
Yeah, 6,000 women strong. So now get this though. What they would do is they would raid like all these treacherous villages, and then like they would do it at night. So like under the cover of darkness, they would just come through.
Okay.
And like it starts off like that. Like the movie starts off like that. You just see like
darkness.
These people sitting around the fire. And then they hear something, and one guy stands up and looks, and then birds fly away. And then the other guys are like laughing at him, like thinking that he's paranoid. Then all of a sudden, ladies pop up out the weeds.
Wow,
it's so powerful.
Okay,
but so the things that they would do is like they would go into these villages, kill the men. Because the men were the ones who were selling their other people to the Europeans. They would take the women and take them back to
their tribe.
Yeah, to the Dahomey kingdom. And once they took them back, they would ask them, they would be like, hey, look, you're either going to train to be a warrior and work with us, or there's a door.
Live out there on your own.
Yeah, because you don't have no tribe or nothing, and you don't know how far the next tribe is going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but what they would do with the men is that they would cut their heads off and bring it back to the king. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, hey, bro.
So are they good people? Good warriors?
No,
right?
they're good warriors.
Because they're not allowing people to get sold into slavery.
Yeah, they're like, this whole thing is about just them fighting people because of the fact that the slave trade is going on, and they're just like, this is not right. We don't sell our own people.
Right.
So now they're just going around like killing the people
who are
doing
doing the bad deeds.
Oh, not just fighting, they're killing them.
Oh.
They're killing them. The women and children, they come to like, they come to the homie.
Yeah.
They come to the homie with the homies.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, these women. So what they used to call the Europeans call them were Amazons, and they call the women Amazons because they were such good warriors, like the Greek myth of the Amazonian women. So that's where they got that whole name from. But they were like African Amazons, I guess is what you call them. Now, so in the movie, so these women are like fierce, and in their tribe, like when they're walking in after they just defeated, like they're walking in, they literally have a bucket full of heads.
Oh my god!
They have like the women that were in the other village or whatever that they have taken with them. They have tied them up and like bring them in, and then all these people who are watching them, like celebrating them coming in. They all have to bow their head. They can't look directly at them because the king is like, you're not worthy enough to gaze upon these awesome warriors. Yeah, but then once you get the women into the area where it's basically like the village, and then it's like the little king area. It's all women. They had men. They had a men like army too, but
the women were more.
Yeah, the women did everything.
Defeating everything.
The women did everything.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but then once they got the ladies there, they were just like, all right, we're gonna uncut you. Go, like take a bath.
Yeah.
You're gonna start bringing flies. Go take a bath. You stink. And then they would just ask them like, hey, you want to stay here? You want to go? Right. It's up to you.
But the women weren't in captivity with those men. They were just. That was just their people, and that's what their people did.
Well, no, I mean, like it wasn't. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say that they captive and made them. Well, I mean, they didn't make them work and just be lowly peasants. They actually just made them like, you can come in and be the highest of the high of warriors, right? And just be like on this pedestal with us and the king and everything. Yeah. But you have to fight.
With the old group, were they captive or were they knowing participants in this event too of selling off the slaves? Oh,
so that's the thing. It's like when they went, like the women would be like, we didn't know anything about it, but then it's like the women are just like. They come and they're just like, well, we don't know if you knew anything about it either. But then you have 6,000 other women who have been like fighting side by side with me, and I don't know what they knew about whatever happened with them or stuff like that. So it just ended up being something like that. And then the men, they were done. They're done. They don't come back. They don't come back. So look, there is a thing though. There is a love story in it because it's a movie. It's gonna help the storyline. But there is some twists and some like good plots in there that are really good. So it makes the story pop. And it's really good because you're learning about this awesome part of history where you have like black women that are the best warriors of their time that you don't hear about, and like you don't get that information in the history books. No. But this is a great movie that's going to pull you in because of the fact that it's history that you're getting, and it also pulling you in because you get the little love interest, you get like a little storyline twist, so it's going to hold you captive. Yeah. I would tell you this, like after like the big war scene, this one lady sitting beside me would not stop yawning. And when I say yawning, it was like, what in the world? She did it like 4 times. I was like, if she do it one more time, I'll be like, excuse me, can you shut up? Yeah. But then it was like the last 3 minutes of the movie. So oh my god! I think she was just like, she was tired. Yeah, all the fighting is over with. I'm ready to go.
It was late. It was late. So,
but please check it out. It's in theaters everywhere. It's called Woman King.
Woman King. All right. Excellent. Thank you.
So let me hear about what you have.
I am going to start off talking about the Emmys because the Emmys took place this week.
That's right.
And so the Primetime Emmy Awards 2022, hosted by Kenan Thompson.
Hey.
So he did a really good job of hosting the Emmys. No drama-filled slaps or anything crazy
nothing like the Oscars.
Nope. Just easy breezy. A little bit of drama I'll get into in a second, but nothing major. But yeah, so in regards to, first and foremost, I just want to say that they had a Primetime Emmy Governors Award that Gina Davis won, and she is just immaculate in my opinion. So love Gina Davis, and so I was very excited that she just got an award for her career of work. Not that she was in anything, just just acknowledging how amazing and wonderful she is.
But I feel like there
actress.
should be a lot of actresses that should just get awards for just being actresses.
Well, I'm sure they do every given year, but this year was her year, so there you go. So I was just very excited about that.
I didn't know if that was like a thing. I thought it was just this year we're just going to give you something for like being yourself.
No, every year they give it to somebody, and this year it was her year, so that was great. They have, I'll go through some of the categories. Competition program, they had Top Chef, Amazing Race, The Voice, nailed it. And RuPaul's Drag Race and Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls, and Lizzo won.
Hey,
so she was up there and asking her big girls to come up there with her, and the competition reality show is all about that. You may hear more about that later from me. Variety talk show series, it was Stephen Colbert, The Daily Show, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and the Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and John Oliver won.
Okay, I like John Oliver.
It's so interesting too because John Oliver has one show a week that he works on, and everybody else does a show every single night, and he keeps beating them out with his one show a week. So they're just like, well, if I had a whole week to put together one amazing show, then I would win an award too. So it's kind of interesting. What ended up happening that was a little bit interesting was that after Jimmy didn't win the award, he and Will Arnett had to go and present for the what was it called? The best, let me figure out the name of it, but it was like the best writer, the best comedy writer. That's what it was. So the best comedy in a writing series. And so Will Arnett dragged Jimmy Kimmel out there like he got so wasted after he lost that he couldn't even walk out there. So he dragged him by his legs out there and, said, well, Jimmy couldn't be here, but, we're going to go ahead and, give this award or whatever. And so I won't go into all the people, but let's just say Steve Martin was on this list, Bill Hader was on this list, and Quinta Brunson was on this list, and Quinta won.
Hey, give it up for Quinta Brunson.
So she won, and Jimmy still was laying there right in front of where her microphone stand was. So everybody was ticked, though, because they were like, afterwards, people on Twitter and stuff were like, he should have gotten out the way. This is the first time ever a female minority woman has gotten an award for writing a comedy series, and he's taken her spotlight by being there. So she had to say Jimmy, then she was did her award.
What she said, well, all right, just hold my phone.
So it was just so he just laid there. So then it ended up being that, at the end of everything, he invited her onto his show, apologized profusely to her if he did take the spotlight away from her. And she was like, look, it was a great night. I really enjoyed myself. I was having so much fun. Fine. Thank you for apologizing. I appreciate that. I just had a great night. So, not to take anything away
because she didn't really care.
All the people
I feel like she didn't care. I think that
but
more
even
like
as I was
else.
watching it happen, I knew what people were going to say afterwards because I was watching it and I was like, why is it that he's right there? You would think, okay, it's your bit. So get up after your bit is over or just, slide over or move or roll or something. Just get out
Arnett should have just pulled him out of the way.
Right, exactly. But that didn't happen. So, and that's what he said on his show. He was like, well, I blame Will Arnett. He's the one that left me right there in front of your microphone stand. So anyway, but I digress. So then you had where they had the Best Supporting Actress role. And that was Caitlin Dever for Dopesick, Connie Britton for White Lotus, Mari Winningham for Dopesick, Alexandria Daddario, for White Lotus, Sydney Sweeney for White Lotus.
White Lotus was killing it.
Rothwell for White Lotus and Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus. So what I really should have just said was...
I want a hot dog real bad. That's Jennifer Coolidge right there.
She's so funny. So what I should have just said is that everybody from Dopesick and every woman from Dopesick and White Lotus basically was up for this award, and Jennifer Coolidge won. So she won for Best Supporting Actress. She got up there, she started to speak, the music started playing, she started dancing, she left. So it was kind of crazy. Then for Limited or Anthology Series, Dopesick, Pam and Tommy, The Dropout, Inventing Anna, and White Lotus won. So of all those shows, which I was kind of surprised of because White Lotus really, for me, wasn't everything that everybody else thinks it was. But Inventing Anna and The Dropout were much better.
They were much better. I agree with that.
White Lotus. So
maybe White Lotus probably because it was more comedic and Dopesick and Inventing Anna were probably were like was it documentary.
Everything was else just more like
documentary.
Yeah,
dramamentary. That's what I'm gonna call it. I don't know. I'm making it up right now.
Docu-series. I don't know.
No, yeah. That sounds right.
Docu-series.
Yeah.
So, yep, exactly. So, and then you had everybody basically as the best supporting actor. In a limited or anthology series, all the men from Dope Sick, basically all the women from White Lotus, and you had where Murray Bartlett from White Lotus won. Okay. And so then you have the part of the directing a drama series. So you had Hwang Dong-hyuk, who is from the Red Light, Green Light of Squid Games, who won. What could have beat Red Light, Green Light?
There's nothing on Squid Games that would, there's nothing that would have beat Squid Games. Squid Games was the biggest thing in the world.
Ever.
But it was like the entire world. It wasn't just like here
it was like everybody
in Korea,
was talking about Squid Games.
Japan.
Yeah.
Like, it was everywhere.
Yeah. In a pandemic. So that's why it was so huge too. I think it's like everybody had nothing to do but to look at their TV. So, but he ended up winning for directing a drama series for that particular, I think Red Light, Green Light episode. And so that was pretty awesome. And funny enough, during the show, they had some people coming out to give an award and the doll was standing there and it would turn its head and be like, red light. Green light, and they were like, oh my God, we made it, So then you have the big thing. So supporting actor, Matthew McFadden, for Succession. So he won. You have, I've talked about Quinta for writing in a comedy series. Best supporting actor in a comedy series. He's here. He's there. He's every effing where. Roy Kent. So it is Brett Goldstein who won for Ted Lasso, which I love him. He was up against Nick from Ted Lasso, Henry Winkler from Barry, Tyler James Williams, from Abbott Elementary, who is Everybody Hates Chris. You have Tony Shalhoub from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. You have Toheeb Jamo from Ted Lasso. Anthony Carnigan from Barry, who is your bald guy from Barry. Yeah. He was up against him. And Bowen Yang from Saturday Night Live. So he beat out all those folks, which is great because he's also a writer on that show. So that's amazing. Cheryl Lee Ralph won for Abbott Elementary for Best Supporting Actress.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Song.
I know, I saw that.
And she was amazing. And this is her very first Emmy after all these years. So that's a blessing and wonderful. Amanda Siegfried won for The Dropout in regards to her playing the main character in that. So she beat out Margaret Qualley for The Maid, Toni Collette for The Staircase, Lily James for Pam and Tommy, Julia Gardner for Inventing Anna, and Sarah Paulson for Impeachment, the American Crime Story.
Okay,
so she beat out everybody. And I thought Julia Gardner was going to win it for sure.
I thought I figured it would have been Julia Gardner or Sarah Paulson.
Yes, but Julia Gardner did win it for, I think, Best Supporting Actress in a Drama.
For Ozark?
Yep, for Ozark. So, yeah. And then you have Michael Keaton, who won for Dope Sick for the lead actor in a limited or anthology series.
Get it, Batman.
Yeah. And then lead actor in a comedy series, Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso. You have lead actress in a comedy series, Jean Smart for Hacks, which was a great show. Supporting actress in a drama, Julia Garner, that's what we were just saying, for Ozark. She beat out actresses in Squid Games, Euphoria, Severance, Succession, Yellow Jackets, and Better Call Saul. So she really did sweep in regards to that category. Lead actor in a series was the main actor for Squid Game. And he beat out Bob Odenkirk, which was his last season of Better Call Saul. So that's huge. Okay. Jason Bateman, last season of Ozark, and that's huge. Brian Cox for Succession, Adam Scott for Severance, and Jeremy Strong for Succession. And then you have Zendaya. She won for lead actress in a drama series, which was great. She was up against the two Killing Eve stars, Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer. Reese Witherspoon for The Morning Show, Melanie Linsky for Yellow Jackets, and Laura Linney for Ozark. And then you have the Outstanding Comedy Series, Ted Lasso again. So I'm telling y'all, if y'all are sleeping on Ted Lasso, by all means, it is one of the best shows. An Outstanding Drama Series, it was Severance, Squid Games, Stranger Things, Euphoria, Ozark, Yellow Jackets, Better Call Saul, Succession. Who do you think won?
Euphoria.
Nope.
What?
Nope. I would have thought potentially even a Squid Game would have won. But who ended up? I was going to say, you okay?
I was about to say Stranger Things.
No, because they didn't even get any awards the whole night, so I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, I think it kind of fell off. I think Stranger Things kind of fell off to me.
Yeah, I haven't even watched like 2 or 3 seasons. So, but Succession won. So that's just reminding me that I need to go back and start watching Succession because I'm still like on season 1, episode 4 or something. So, anyway, that is what happened with the 74th Primetime Emmy Awards. So, if you did not get a chance to watch it, hopefully this saved you 2 or 3 hours of your life to just hear who some of the main winners were in about 10 minutes. And hopefully it gave you some ideas on some shows that you might want to check out on your own and see for yourself if these are truly award-worthy shows and award-worthy performances. So that's what I have for my number one. What about you for number 2, sis?
All right, so for my number 2, I want to talk about Mike. All right, so Mike is actually a TV show about Mike Tyson. Yeah, so, and I like how they did it, okay? So you have Trevante Rhodes, who's playing Mike Tyson, right? Okay. He got the part, he got the go-to, he got the little lift going on and everything. You can tell he, like, definitely, like, bulked up for it. But how they made it is kind of like how Mike did his one-man show. And he was standing up. Remember when he did the HBO standing there? And he turns around, he shows pictures, and then he starts talking. Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Oh, it's not a actual...
No, it's an actual show, but it's like that. But then when he turns around and shows a picture, then it goes into a story about that, and then that's what you get.
So is Mike Tyson involved in the Mike show?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I was just wondering.
I don't know. He probably. I would think that he is. I mean, like, there's some deep stuff on there.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, like, I'm gonna tell you this, Trevante's like got him down to like the hand motions of how he talks and everything, and I mean, like, he really has him down really good. Okay. But it's I think that this is gonna get some awards. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe not. But so basically, so you have Trevante Rhodes, you have Russell Hornsby, and Harvey Keitel.
Oh, Harvey, where's he been?
This is my boy. I don't know where he's been at, but yeah. So like when this goes into Mike's life. So it's going from childhood all the way up until like when he's going to be on the stage. Now, right now, it's only like maybe 4 or 5 shows in.
Okay.
I don't know how many shows it's going to be total. I think it's going to be 8 shows maybe total, because it's on Hulu. Usually they do like 8 to 10 shows. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when it goes from like, it goes about how he talks about his mother and how him and his mother never got along, and he's seen his mother get beat by his, like, I guess not his father, but like the guy who she was dating, and then they were homeless, and then she ended up having to like go and like put a mattress down somewhere, like a warehouse with them on the other side of the curtain, and she's doing like sexual favors for money just so they can eat. So from there, that's when Mike was like, he was always getting picked on. When he was a kid, he was like, he was a little scrawny kid, always getting picked on. So, and then it's like, once he actually saw his mother, like dressing herself and a man throwing money at her while he's like zipping his zipper, I think that's what really brought the anger into Mike. And then that's when some kid was like, when some kid killed his pigeon. Killed his pigeon, and he beat that kid so bad, and he was so tiny.
Oh wow! And
he beat that kid so bad that people like
he just had all that anger.
Yeah, all the little kids were like trying to pull him off. Like they was always making fun of Mike. Now the other kids had to pull him off, and now that other guy was like ended up being a joke. But then now Mike Tyson has his little thugs, his little homies. You know what I'm saying? That's his little group. All they used to do was go around and like rob and steal. They would rob people. They would steal stuff. They were going to people's houses, cars. Like, they were going to stores. They didn't care. They were just going around stealing, and they were just, like, yanking chains off of people, like, taking people's watches, rings, like, everything. And they were saying they were doing that because they wanted to be big and bad like the people that they saw all the time. But then also they were just like, well, we didn't have anything. So this is the only way that we felt like we had something. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty deep. Yeah. So he also goes into how when I think it was like between 10 and 11. Yeah, between 10 and 11 is when he got arrested for the first time. When he got arrested, went to juvie, and then that's when boxing was introduced to him. Because when he got arrested, then everybody was like, "Oh, Mike think he big and bad. I bet you this person can fight." And then so now he's like fighting these people, and then this one guy was like, "I bet you can't beat." Coach such and such. And then there's like a boxing ring inside of this juvie.
Oh, juvenile.
Yeah, the juvenile facility. And it's just like so they can just teach the kids like fundamentals and stuff like that. And he gets in the ring and he starts to box and he can't box. Yeah. He's just throwing punches. And the dude's just like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. And then they were like, "All right, we see you have potential. Like you stand like a boxer, like you throw haymakers, like you were trying to knock me out. You're not just trying to like hit me just to like,
get me away from you or to,
you were trying like you're trying to knock me out." And that's what made him get into boxing. Now with that, when he was 14 years old, they actually got him, took him to this was supposed to be some adult boxing fight club type thing. And this guy who I guess was like the coach or whatever was just like, "Hey man, look, I want to try to get this kid in here. Like he's only 14. The guy was like, "You're trying to tell me that this big kid right here who's swole is only 14. He's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to tell you." He was like, "He's 14? He was like, "No, he's 18. He was like, "Okay, good. That's what I thought." Got him in the ring.
Oh, couldn't say he was 14.
Yeah, got him in the ring. And then next thing you know, that's when he wins his first championship. Wow. And then like, and the way that this is directed, because you see him as a little kid, and then, well, not really a kid, but like a preteen, teenager, and then like you see him like win, and then he like slowly turns to the camera. He's like, "Now I love everything." Oh my gosh. So now he's just like he's getting into boxing so much, and he's loving it. Then he comes to meet Cuss. Cuss takes him in like his own. Like Cuss is his dad in jail. Dad, yeah. It's like his dad in jail. His dad / manager. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. When Cuss died, he cried like a baby. He said he didn't even cry like after his mother died. He really cried. Yeah. When Cuss had died, because he said he felt like a part of him was like, taken from him. But I will tell you this, Cuss's wife did have all stuff that was in Mike's bedroom. She left it in his bedroom. She was like, you can welcome here anytime. Like this is your home. Yeah. But so what ends up happening is after Cuss dies, now it goes into how his management treat him like crap. They even had it to where the people who gave him the contract were like, "Hey, so just sign this new contract. We know Cuss is gone. We got you in with this person, blah, blah, blah." And then in the contract, it was like, even if the manager dies, the wife gets 50%.
Interesting.
Like, what? Yeah. He was like I was a piece of meat or something. That's what he's talking. Because I mean, like, I get it. It's like,
yeah, you're a commodity.
Yeah, I'm just a commodity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
you're a deal a deal maker and a money maker. And everybody wants their cut.
Yep, exactly.
And everybody doesn't think that boxers are the smartest people in the world either.
Oh yeah, that's
therefore,
true,
it's like, oh, we can take advantage.
Well, I mean, so I listened to Mike Tyson's his podcast called Hot Boxing, and I listened to that, and literally he talks about where he says, like, I'm not the smartest person. He was like, I'll read stuff if it interests me. He was like, but in like going to school, no. He said the only reason he got his GED because when he was in prison, his GED teacher, he was sleeping with her.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so she passed him.
Wow. So there's a lot to unpack there. Yeah. Because I'm like, did he even earn his GED or did he earn his GED?
I mean, but who really needs a GED nowadays? I mean, if you're Iron Mike Tyson, you need a GED.
No, he doesn't need it now.
All you need is just life. Like,
he's probably got some honorary degrees under his belt from different universities. Who've
I'm pretty sure.
Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, come and do the commencement speech.
Yeah, now you're a doctor.
Dr. Tyson.
Yeah. So it also goes into Robin Givens and whole relationship. Yeah. And like, so even how they show it in the show, he was just like, all I wanted was her. He was like, you see him like sitting there. He's like, "Did you see the fight?" Blah 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 blah. And she's like she's like in her bedroom. He's talking to her. So it's like a little cute, like 21, 22-year-old couple. And then he hangs up the phone, and then he says, "I'm gonna marry that woman." And then the girl who's in his hotel room lifts her head up out of his lap, and she's like, "Really?"
Yeah. That just shows you that, he wasn't even in a place to,
But he was just like, he wanted Robin Givens. Right. That's all he talked to.
Yeah.
It's the only girl he talked to. He was like, sex was just something that he did, he said, just because I could.
Right.
It's like, wow, okay. I guess that's like men's mentality, though. A lot of men that are out there that are like that. It was just like, what's that song? There's a song that's called, "If I get caught cheating, that doesn't mean that I don't love you." This is a literal song. I have to play it for you later.
Okay.
Yeah. It goes into the rape charge that he got.
Yeah.
And then how he goes into prison.
Yeah.
Once he goes to prison, he is running the prison.
I mean, who's gonna mess with Mike?
Well, first of all, when he gets in there, he said in his mind, he thought people were gonna try to test him. So what does he do? He just he gets his plate and just walks up to somebody, smacks their plate off of him, and just starts beating them up. He was just like, he said, "I felt like a little boy." He was like, when I was that little boy, like, he's like, "I'm in here with all these big bad gangsters and everything. I know they're not going to try to hurt me." So then after that, he starts to run the prison.
Yeah.
He got everybody like bringing him stuff. Yeah. He got the guards bringing him donuts and TV, guns, like drugs, everything.
He's a celebrity too, so it's like, "Yo, Mike, what's up? I know you want to get out."
No, it's so so much, and I mean, like the way that they talk about it, it is ridiculous. And you know what? When it goes to the rape charge thing, the thing that which shocks me that they put in here was that once you see how it actually happened, because they do like a reenactment of it.
I feel like they have that documented in somewhere that they've talked through what actually happened.
And literally, he looks at the camera. He was like, "What? You don't like me anymore?" And then turns back. It's just like right as he's pulling his pants up, and the girl's like crying and like putting her clothes on. He turns to the camera and is like, "What? You don't like me anymore?"
Right.
And it's like that is reality. It's like there's so many people who are just like celebrities, like we were talking about earlier, celebrities, but then like stuff that they do is not cool. But it goes into that. It goes into like Don King and all that stuff. Yeah. And then it goes into, so now what it's going into is like now him coming out and him being Muslim.
Oh, okay.
And he's with the Nation of Islam, and he's now Muslim, and he's coming out and trying to get back into boxing so he can go ahead back and fight. Okay. So that's what it's at right now.
All right.
But
and how many episodes do you think you're in right now?
I think I'm in 4 right now.
Okay.
I think
a lot that's happened so far.
I mean, like each episode is probably like maybe 4 major events that happen in his life.
Oh,
I'm gonna say. But I think that it's really good. I think that it's definitely going. I don't feel like it's going from Mike Tyson's point of view or from the media's point of view or anything. I feel like it would be like, we actually have a camera following around Mike Tyson, and we don't know if, like...
So it doesn't put him in a great light. It doesn't put him in a terrible light. Yeah. It's like, it seems like a true reenactment of
exactly. So
okay.
It is going to be 8 episodes. So I am on episode... Oh, wait, maybe I'm further now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, I'm on episode 6.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So there's 2 more episodes. 2 more. Actually, one just came out tonight, so I'll probably watch that.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
2 of them. They're coming out 2 at a time.
Oh, well, there you go. So you'll be able to watch the
last 2. Yeah. Okay. But check it out. It's called Mike, and it is on Hulu. Yeah. All so right. What is your last one? Oh, no, your second one.
My second one? It is Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girl.
Hey.
Watch out for the big girl.
Hey.
Watch out for the big girl. Watch out for... Okay. Anyway, so for anybody who doesn't know, it is a song that's called Watch Out for the Big Girl. So anyway, so she, being a plus-size woman herself, has created a reality show called Watch Out for the Big Girl on Amazon Prime original, and it follows 13 women who compete against each other to be dancers for Lizzo. So they're going to be the Big Girls.
Yeah.
That's the name of her group behind them, and it's GRRRL.
Yeah.
S or Z. I can't remember, but Grrls. Yeah, so she basically is having this competition show, and if you like Lizzo as an artist, I would highly recommend seeing this show because it does give you a good insight into how she is kind of off the stage, and how she engages with people, and talks
she's
to
just
people.
like actually a different, like a real person,
right? Like a real,
but also a business person at the same time.
Exactly. You can see the hustle, and you can see the grind, but at the same time, you can see where she's vulnerable, and she tells her own stories and her own weight journey, and she talks about how she's an exhibitionist, so she doesn't care putting her body out there, but she understands that there's a lot of women out there who have never really looked at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And just, have had so many things said to them, and hurtful things and mean things and derogatory things. And so just trying to help the women to build up their own, self-esteem and ability to not be like her and be just flamboyant with it, but instead
twerking with a flute.
Right, with a thong on, but no, just trying to be the best version of themselves, basically. So you see 13 women come in, and there are different levels of training in regards to dance. So you have some that have been classically trained, ballet, classical, modern, all those different types of dance training, and you have other people who just do TikToks and YouTube videos and stuff like that. And you have some people who just are self-taught, have, taught themselves over the years, watched enough of the YouTube videos that they just feel like they, can dance. So she invited one girl who she follows on either Instagram or TikTok, and somebody else that she knew was like one of the first HBCU plus size dance teams. So she invited her to be out there. So just different people from different walks of life. And so the first couple of episodes, maybe the first 2 episodes, she didn't cut anybody the first, episode. She did cut 2 people by the second episode. And basically the good thing that I liked about this show is typically with reality shows, there's always drama amongst the women because of the fact that I'm competing against you, you're competing against me. Exactly. I think I'm better than you. I might have an attitude because I feel that way, those kind of things. But in this instance, she said, look, I can take up to 10 people with me. Yeah. She already cut 2. So really, she could truly take
all of them.
Almost all of them. So it's really no need to have that energy.
Yeah, where it's like competition like that. Yeah.
No drama.
More of helping each other.
Because of the fact that, hey, all of us could have a shot. Every single last one of us. She could have a whole stage of big girls, or she could rotate out big girls.
Exactly.
And it could be like, okay, you'll get to the Atlanta show, somebody else will do the Houston show, somebody else will do the Minneapolis show.
Nobody's getting burnt out.
Nobody, right, exactly. And, for your joints, your ankles, your whatever, because, as these women were going through and doing the competition, they were getting injured. Like one lady fell off the stage and she ended up getting like cuts and scrapes and, different things. But she popped back up and started dancing and finished out the routine and then hobbled off the stage after it was over. But she hustled and worked it. And Lizzo saw the tenacity in that, even though she was like, but girl, are you okay? You know what I mean? And then you had somebody else who she does flips and splits and all of this. Well, in the process of doing that, she actually ended up tweaking her ankle and had to be wearing a boot for part of the competition. And she was somebody who always wins everything. I think her name was Sydney. So she was like, look, everything I've ever tried for, I got. If I wanted to be a cheerleading captain, school body president, whatever, everything I've always done, I've achieved and I've gotten everything I've wanted to do. And so therefore, I really want this to be a part of Lizzo's Big Girls team. But she was so in her head that she just was like, instead of just feeling the music, you could tell she was trying to be so methodical with it. That Lizzo was like, girl, get sloppy. Like, you need to get messy. Other people need to get clean. You need to get messy because you're looking like a robot, kind of up here. So she was really nature, like just nurturing. That's kind of what I want to say. She was very nurturing to the girls. She was very motherly to them, or big sister like to them. She would just go and hang out and drink and, sit around and
she doesn't act like a celebrity.
Not at all. So, and I think they really appreciated that fact that, after this whole experience is over, Lizzo really knows me and maybe I can call her a friend. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
like, that's what it really felt like. And like she said, even she liked the fact that her girls, like, the energy that they bring. Like she had one girl, she was a great dancer. Like even one of the choreographers told her, look, I see you dancing with Beyonce. Like you are a phenomenal dancer. Her attitude was the worst.
Oh.
The worst. She was bossy. She was aggressive. She's like, I'm from New York. I have to tell my piece. I have to say what I have to say, whatever. And she was just very... Like, you can be from New York and still be a nice person. Like, come on now. Yeah. You don't have to be mean or rude or roll your eyes or when somebody else is getting their shine. Yeah. She would start crying. And bring all the attention to her. So everybody's like, oh, hey, girl, congratulations, whatever. And then you see her crying and everybody's like, well, what's wrong? And then she wants all the attention on her. And it's like, oh, my gosh. Do you really think people don't see through this?
Get her off the show.
So that's what, basically, she was just like, look. It is what it is.
Too much
drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you'll watch the show. You'll see how all these things unfold. But it was really, really a fun watch because I ended up binging it like in 2 days or something.
Good.
So it's a very fun watch. It's an easy watch. It's probably 45 minute episodes probably. And I really just liked it. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they have another one. And also I'm looking forward to if I ever see Lizzo on an award show or whatever, like I'm going to be looking for the big girls that I saw.
Yeah, but in the background.
Dancing in the background so that I can, see if I can point out like, oh, that's this one or that's that one, like, oh, that's Asia over there or, oh, that's this, so it was really fun to watch. So, and some of them like, oh, I'll just tell this one story. One girl was so good in the very first production of everything. She just sent her, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You go straight to my tour.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
Point blank. Like, not even about, because everybody else was just trying to be a backup dancer for one show at Bonnaroo.
Okay.
And then from there, you still potentially could get on her tour bus. So then it was like, we're always auditioning because even if we get Bonnaroo, it doesn't mean that we're going to get to the tour. So she literally sent this one girl and said, no, you just go straight to my tour. Like, you are good.
Crazy,
and then she said, but that shows all the other girls what could happen.
Yeah. Because
like, this is what can happen to you.
If you do good, it's not like she's like, it's my show. It's not like any other show.
She said, I can do what I want to do.
And I want her to be on my tour bus.
Exactly. And she could let you go home in a heartbeat. And she could put you on a tour in a heartbeat. And in between the whole show, she could just say, okay, you're on my tour. You're going to Bonnaroo. You're doing this. Home, you're doing that. Like, you're going home. Like, she could just call it how she saw it. So
that's awesome.
It was pretty cool. And she had some guest people to come in as well. And like you heard from people like Missy and SZA and different people like that as well. So it was kind of awesome. So anyway, that is Watch Out for the Big Girl. I can't say it.
I know without singing it.
It's so weird because I love that song. But anyway, so Watch Out for the Big Girl on Amazon Prime Original. So what do you have next, sis? Or your last topic?
So my last topic is it's a show on Netflix.
Okay.
It's called Mo.
Mo? I don't think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it just came out. I just saw it. It just came up on like things you should watch or something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I know this guy. It's comedian Mohammed Amer.
Oh, okay.
He's funny. He's hilarious. He's Palestinian. And, but he's Palestinian, but he's also like not strictly Muslim or anything like that.
Okay.
Like he's just, funny.
Okay.
He makes fun of himself and his family and then everyone in the audience all at the same time. So this is a show about he's a Muslim man. His name is Mohammed. They also call him Hamoudi. They call him a whole bunch of different names. But he's going through life as a young dude. He's grown up as an immigrant from Pakistan, but he now lives in Texas.
Okay. So
this is something that's kind of like, he speaks 3 languages. He speaks Spanish, he speaks English, and he speaks Arabic.
Okay.
So it's kind of awesome how it all goes about. But so he feels like he has to be the man in his family because he feels like he has to be the man in his family because he has an older brother.
Okay.
But he's on the spectrum.
Okay.
He has an older sister, but she married a white dude. She moved out to the suburbs. but he's the youngest, and he just feels like he has to be the man of the family because his father has passed away. And now what his father did was his father was trying to do his best at getting his family out of Pakistan when they were having a whole issue with, I think it was a religion over there.
Oh, yeah, it's always.
Yeah, I think it was between the Jewish people and the Muslim people, I believe it was something like that. But he ended up having to get them, like, sneak them out of Kuwait, and then, you know, he never saw, like, well, he did see his father again, but he said that just seeing his father stand there, like, as they were trying to leave was so heartbreaking because, like, he never knew when he was going to see his father again. Like, you know, it was just his mother, him, his brother, and his sister all on this van. And his dad's just standing outside, you know, like blowing kisses and everything. Well, not really blowing kisses at him, but like, you know.
Yeah.
We're giving him well wishes from afar. So, but now his mother is, she's a widow. His father has passed. So she has the house, and then it is the two boys that live with her. Now, this is what's so funny because, like, the mother is very much like, you need to find a nice Muslim girl. Like, is your girlfriend that you have, because you know he has a Hispanic girlfriend, is your girlfriend gonna convert? Is she gonna give me beautiful babies and blah 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 blah? He's just like, Mom, chill. And then his brother is just like, Mom, you never asked me if I'm gonna get married. And she's like, I'm not worried about you. But then he's also like, just because I'm on the, like, I'm pretty sure in his mind, it's like, just because I'm on the spectrum doesn't mean I don't want to like get married and have kids.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So Mo ends up finding out some like kind of crazy things about his father when he passed, while he's like looking for a lawyer for his citizenship because he's an illegal immigrant. So Mo he ends up getting into some stuff because of the choices that he makes, because of the fact that he's a legal immigrant. He can't like actually just go and get a job. He has to do like odd jobs. Now he finds himself in some sticky situations multiple times. He's in Houston, like, so. You know, they got Paul Wall that's like a security guard in there. It's just so funny. And all Paul Wall says is like just slang. He's just like, already. Like, what it do, baby? Like, he just says Paul Wall things. And I love it because it's just like, bro, you were in a TV show being yourself.
Wow. Yeah, pretty much.
I love that. But so he does have the girlfriend now. His girlfriend is she's sticking by his side. She's sticking by his side. She's trying to help as much as she can, but she can only do so much. So, you know, they have their little arguments, their fuss and fight, especially over, like, them wanting to get married, but then it's like they can't because she's not Muslim, he's not Catholic, you know, all this stuff
all the
into
family
that.
pressures.
Yeah, well, like, you know, the girlfriend comes to somebody's, it was a funeral that they were having, and she comes and she has a cross tattooed on her wrist, and then, like, Mo's mom just like, oh, I have a nice bracelet for you, it's a bangle, and clamps it on her, on her wrist, and when she was like, leave it here, don't take it off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a bit much. But I do love the show. It's super funny. I went through the whole season already.
Oh, wow.
It's like little 30-minute shows.
Yeah.
Which is probably like 22 minutes, I guess, you know, if you go like Netflix time.
Right.
But I like it. It's a definite cliffhanger. I don't even know what's going to happen. The season's over it. I'm like, why? What happened to like TV shows that were like Golden Girls long? You know, like the whole season was 40 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. They used to do 22 or 23 episodes.
It's like the whole time that I'm in school, from like September to July, this TV show was on.
With a slight hiatus occasionally.
Yeah,
like
Christmas.
Fall and Christmas.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. When people weren't going to be watching because they traveling. Right,
but the shows were on for almost the whole year.
That's not happening anymore.
Now, that doesn't happen anymore.
I mean, maybe a good Law and Order or something like that has still 20 episodes a season, but it ain't much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
just imagine British shows that are only 6.
And now it's streaming, so we got to pay for this?
Yeah. You pay for the torture.
Yeah. So for free, I can get 23 episodes of like that are reruns of like Good Times. Yeah, The Simpsons
and Good Times.
Friends, Seinfeld. But then I gotta pay to get some new shows. Come on, man. Come on. That's just messed up. But anyway, it is called Mo. It's on Netflix. Oh, I do want to let you know. So on the show, I don't know if a lot of people know this guy. He's a rapper. His name is Toby. I'm going to mess up this last name. See if you can pronounce that last name.
Nwinge?
Is that what it is? Maybe, yeah, and he plays his best friend, which I didn't know this dude could act like that. And he's a great actor in this show. So I'm going to see him getting some more roles. Like, he's really good at acting in this. So I'm like, and I didn't even know that Mo was an actor, you know. But I mean, I guess if you're a comedian, you can be an actor at the same time. So
potentially, yeah. A lot of them have their own shows and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess it's kind of not that far of a stretch.
Yeah, it's not that far of a stretch. Okay. But yeah, Mo on Netflix. Check it out. 30-minute episodes. I think it's 8 of those.
Okay.
It's always 8. It's always 8 episodes.
Sounds good.
All right, what do you have for your last one?
Yeah, my last one is actually Jerry and Marge Go Large.
Jerry and Marge Go Large.
They do go large. And this is on Peacock. Okay. And I had heard about this somehow. I don't even know, but it's based on a true story. So it has Bryan Cranston in it. And he plays a 42-year-old, a person who has worked for 42 years and is retiring reluctantly. Like, they're basically forcing him out. Okay. And Annette Bening plays his wife. And so the two of them actually are now at home, both retired, and just trying to figure out what the heck is gonna go on in their lives. And so you have where he, goes to his financial advisor, and the guy is like, look, you got a 2% rate on all your money and investments and stuff. You really should put it more in the stock market. He's like almost an actuary. He figures out numbers all the time. He knows all of the risks and things of that nature. So therefore, he's like, no, I'm not putting it in the stock market. There's a this % probability that blah, 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 blah,
he's
blah, blah,
super
blah.
smart.
Super, super smart. So anyway, he figures out how he can win the lottery based on a loophole on a particular type of lotto called the windfall. And so basically with this windfall lotto, and this happened in Michigan, so they had it where if no one wins for a certain amount of time, then there's something that happens that makes it more of a probability that people can win. And so what ended up happening...
Usually it's the opposite.
No, it was almost like we don't want the jackpot to get too out of control, so let's go ahead and manage it and make it so that people, have better odds, right? Okay. So he did some math, figuring out, okay, if I buy $2 tickets, how many tickets would I need to buy in order for me to not break even, but kind of come ahead? And so he did all this math and realized, okay, if I buy $4,000 worth of tickets, if I take $4,000 out of our savings account and I purchase these tickets, will I win the windfall? So he did it. And he lost, but not by a lot, but $4,000 basically gone. Yeah. So then he's like, okay, well, let me figure this out. What is this math? What am I doing wrong? He realized what his mistake was. Took out $8,000. Put that into the lottery, and lo and behold, he won.
Ding, ding, ding.
And it ended up being that even though he put in $8,000, he ended up winning $15,000 all in all, because he played almost every combination that you could possibly easy pick, easy pick, easy pick, easy pick. That's all they were doing, was just picking. And so then what happens is that his wife is like, why were you in the pantry just hiding out, and what's going on? What's happening? Something is going on with you. And he's like, okay, I've been playing the lottery and I'm winning a lot of money and whatever. And she was like, is this illegal? And he's like, no. And she gets so excited. This is the most exciting thing we've ever had.
That's probably probably the most exciting thing of their life
So lo and behold, windfall gets canceled for their state. They just stop it in their state. Now the only other state that offers windfall is Massachusetts. So guess what?
They're going to Massachusetts.
Riding in a car. She's packing up like they're going on a fishing trip. She's just putting sandwiches and fried chicken and drinks and whatever in this little bag. We don't need to stop. We're just getting to Massachusetts.
Can I just say that is just the setup for any car ride vacation?
Yeah,
because I feel like we have that when we went to Monticello.
We had.
I feel like we had fried chicken in aluminum foil.
You have everything.
Ham sandwiches and some
chips.
I'm sure the chips were Utz. The chips were definitely Utz, IGA, rich food.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, all those old timey names that you don't see as much anymore. But yeah, well, maybe Utz. But yeah, so they go and they get to, Michigan. They find a little small mom and pop shop. Rainn Wilson works there, and it's just comedy ensues. That's all I can say. Like, it's just crazy. One of the things that happens, though, is that, and it's all based on a true story, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happens, though, is that, guess what? As he figured this out, there's a Harvard student who's at Harvard who also figures this out. And then they realize they're competing against each other to try to win the jackpot. And the Harvard student has all the kids putting their parents' money into
they got mommy and daddy's money.
But they have to fill out the individual forms, like for different numbers, whereas he's just doing like easy picks and things, and him and his wife literally go through every single 4,000 tickets, 8,000 tickets, whatever, and like, these are winners, these are losers, and then figure out how much they can actually win. So then it becomes this competition of the old people against the young people, and the Harvard kids are just like, yeah, grandpa, whatever, and then he's like, oh, but I've been around the block longer, and I know better than you, and so it's so many different layers to it.
Back and forth, I like that.
And they get the community involved. So he goes back to his small town that actually shops were closing, things are not going that well, and he basically is like, look, if y'all want to invest, I have a guaranteed way that we'll make money. I know we'll make money. We've done it multiple times. The state commission knows we're doing this. Like, nobody is stopping us, And so everybody starts investing in the town, and the town just starts coming back to life. So it's a really good, feel good, nice, fun movie that truly is about people that at the end they show you the pictures of the people and their families.
There's no drama, no drug dealers. There's no.
It's just the drama between him and a Harvard student.
A college
Two
kid.
very smart people figuring out numbers and
I like
who's
that,
going to beat out. Yeah, who's going to beat out who? So it's really a cute thing, and in the end, it does go over the fact that, because it's a true story, so you can even Google it, but he actually made, and him and his community, I guess I would say, won from the lottery $27 million.
Oh, wow.
And they just
working
him,
this system. But wait, just him himself, or
him in the community?
Okay.
Him and the entire community.
Wow.
So he and the community
Everybody
together
won
$27 million before the commission, decided to just cut it out.
Yeah, because they realized that they were taking on.
But, and I mean, I've just given high level surface information in regards to this, so it's a really good movie to just kind of check out and it's only like an hour and probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's an hour and 36 minutes.
Yeah, so and some of that's just going to be the opening credits and the closing credits, so it's probably even shorter than that. So it's a really easy watch, but it's interesting. So it's Jerry and Marge Go Large on Peacock, a real cute movie about some people winning big bucks at the lottery.
I wish we could find that person around here.
I know, right?
That'd be amazing.
It would be. But anyway.
Hey, if you're out there, just hit us up, Sestra-Tainment,
So there you go. Exactly. Yeah. So, well, thank you everybody for joining us this week for Sestra-Tainment. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.